I have this beautiful bottle of Chianti Classico Gran Selezione, so I thought of sharing the story behind Chianti and how it gave birth to the Super Tuscans. So Chianti actually is a region within Tuscany, which is present on the western coast of Italy towards the French border. Chianti, as a matter of fact, was one of the first regions in the world to be protected. Duchess of Tuscany in 1700s lineated the region, protecting the wines that were made within the region. Uh, Actually, if you look closely on the bottle, you see DOCG written over here. So, what Italy has done for its wine is they have divided their wines into different categories. On top of the table is DOCG, which means these wines has to undergo the most strict rules and protocols. Then there's DOC. And for a very long period of time, there was no other third category. If your wines didn't qualify for DOCG or DOC, you had to call them as table wines or vino da tavola. Okay, so for example, Chianti had to be made with 100% Sangiovese. Okay, there are advantages of following rules and protocols. First, it guarantees you quality. Okay, it guarantees to protect the culture and winemaking techniques of the region. But then there are disadvantages of this as well. I like to compare the winemakers and winemaking to an artist. Okay, if you confine an artist with laws and rules, you are just shackling them. Okay, not doing any justice. So this is the same thing that happened to the winemakers in Tuscany. So in 1960 they said, boss, we are okay not calling our wines Chianti, but we want to do some innovation. Okay, and we want to do some blends with our wines. So what they did was they started making blends in the region, and they started calling their wines as stable wines. One such first wine was Bulgari Sasakaya. Then came in Tignanello, which is a blend of Sangiovese and Cabernet Sauvignon. And these wines, since they were being made in Tuscany, was later on called as Super Tuscans. And such was the craze and the cult following of these wines that in 1993, Italy had to make a separate classification to qualify these wines, and this classification was called as IGT. And by the way, Super Tuscans are now one of the most expensive wines in the world. So it teaches us something actually. So I mean, if you're okay, moving away from certain predefined sets of laws and protocols, okay, you will struggle for a bit, but then I think you will develop your own following, you will make your own path. And such is the story of the Super Tuscans. And to compete with Super Tuscans, the Chianti themselves came up with another category called Chianti Classico, where they allowed Chiantis to be the Chianti to be made with Sangiovese blended with some indigenous grape varieties. By the way, we at Fratelli have also tried to make a Super Tuscan style of a wine. It's called Sette. It's a blend of Sangiovese and Cabernet Sauvignon, and has been aged in for a minimum of 12 months in French oak barrels. One of the first Indian wines which showed potential to be aged in a bottle. Do try it and let me know what you think about it. And as they say, drink safely. Saluti.